Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
All eyes on 4 Live radar and the skies as Brandon tracks the potential for severe weather when the trouble could impact you. But first, we're following breaking news from Taylor. That's where Telegraph Road at North Line is closed for a serious accident. This is an accident between a car and a tractor trailer. And take a look at this. You can see the damage done to both vehicles. Police are out there. They're on the scene investigating. They have not released any information about any possible injuries. Again, Telegraph and North Line will be closed for some time. We'll keep you updated with any new information as we get it. Also breaking right now, a water main break flooding a street on Detroit's west side. This is Memorial Street, just east of the Southfield Freeway. You're getting a look at the flooded street right now. We're told this is affecting 4 homes in that neighborhood. Also breaking now from East Lansing, Michigan State University named its new president. A diverse search committee at MSU today named Samuel L. Stanley Jr. as the school's 21st president. Dr. Stanley, currently president of Stony Brook University in New York. He'll begin his tenure in East Lansing August 1st. Our Steve Garagiola is live in East Lansing with more on Dr. Stanley and the reception he's getting. Steve?
Well, we actually don't know a lot about Dr. Stanley, other than he had a very successful tenure at Stony Brook, initiated some very innovative programs. On the news conference that ended just a few minutes ago, he said he felt he had done everything he could do at Stony Brook. It was good for them to have a new face as head of the university, and he felt it was good for him to take on a new challenge. And there are certainly challenges he will take on here at Michigan State. Again, we don't know much about him, but he said he is proud to be leading this team into a new, brighter future for Michigan State.
So the development of a campus-wide plan for diversity, inclusion, and equity will be a high priority for me. And I look forward to engaging the board, shared governance, and the entire campus in this endeavor. These are just a few of my initial impressions, and there's so much, much more I need to learn about MSU. But I'm so excited about the trajectory you're on, and I look forward to be a part of that journey. At the same time, I also see a Spartan community that has had a turbulent and difficult time, a community in need of healing. Like Dr. Ugba and the board, I want to meet with the survivors and their families, listen to their voices and their thoughts, and learn from them. And I want to work with them and all of the campus community to ensure that changes that need to be made are implemented.
Well, it is most definitely a campus, a university that needs healing. The controversy, not so much about Dr. Stanley, because nobody knows anything about him. His identity kept a secret. The controversy over the selection process, this 18-member group that did the interviewing and made the selections, all in secrecy. And those critics of it, who we'll hear from later on in our evening newscast, say this is not the way to change the culture of secrecy at Michigan State, starting with a selection process that was done in secret. Again, more on that coming up this evening. Reporting live in East Lansing, I'm Steve Garagiola, Local 4.
All right, we will look for that starting at 5. Thank you, Steve. Also, more breaking news now, this time out of Romulus, a suspect in custody after 2 separate shootings in the past 2 days on I-94 near I-275. In both cases, no injuries were reported. And you're looking right now at video of that 25-year-old suspect being taken into police custody. That was this morning. Let's get right out to Coco McAvoy. And Coco, at this point, do we know what led police to their suspect?
Good afternoon. Michigan State Police is calling this good old-fashioned police work. They say they quickly got a suspect vehicle description. They searched the area and arrested the suspect they believe is responsible for the shootings this morning. Michigan State Police arrested a 25-year-old man this morning at the Barrington Apartments in Romulus. They believe he's behind the 2 back-to-back freeway shootings on I-275.
Within 2 days, basically, because he's appeared to be connected within those 2 days, being able to have somebody in custody, we feel pretty good about that.
This morning, Michigan State Police shut down a portion of eastbound I-94 between Haggerty and 275 after getting a report of a shooting. A driver told police that a car pulled alongside theirs and fired multiple shots. No one was hurt. And a similar scenario unfolded yesterday morning when another driver told police his car was shot up several times. Police believe both shootings were random and want the public to be aware.
The roads are bad enough as it is with distracted driving and people not paying attention, a little bit of road rage here and there, and then to worry about somebody randomly just going around shooting at cars. Nobody wants to have to suffer through that during their commute.
And police will hand their case to the prosecutor's office today, and they expect the suspect to be arraigned in court tomorrow. Reporting live this afternoon, I'm Coco McAvoy, Local 4.
All right, thank you, Coco. You know what? It is getting warm and muggy out there. Brandon is tracking some potential trouble for later today.
Sort of feels like summer, Sandra, and it depends on where you are. We've got some cooler numbers up north with thicker clouds, but we are flirting with 80 at Metro Airport. Our south zone in Monroe is 79. The winds are a little gusty out of the west-southwest, bringing in warmer air, but 20 to 30 mile-an-hour gusts. Pretty consistent out of the west-southwest, 7 to 17, while areas north of M59 may not get out of the 60s with clouds. Again, we're flirting with 80 degrees here for a while, and we have some patchy clearing going on, so a little blue sky coming and going until you get up north. Shower and storm chances do exist as we warm up this afternoon, although a lot of this activity is heading south. An area in the last 24 hours that had upwards of 50 tornado reports, and the severe weather that has dogged the country's midsection for weeks has now stretched into the Midwest and the Rust Belt. This was overnight in Ohio. Cell phone video from a powerful tornado destroying buildings, knocking out power to thousands. In Oklahoma, residents are in a frantic fight with catastrophic flooding. So we have reports from both Daniel Grossman in Dayton, Ohio, and Kerry Sanders in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Tornado on the ground.
Hundreds of thousands of people getting a terrifying wake-up call overnight in Ohio. Multiple tornadoes touching down, sending residents racing for cover.
You can never prepare for something like this.
It destroyed the house. The path of destruction stretching across Dayton and the western part of the state. Homes turned inside out. Trees ripped from the ground. Power poles snapped. An elementary school in Dayton suburb that would have been packed with children this morning was destroyed. There have been nearly 500 tornadoes reported across the country in the last 30 days. Overnight Dayton becoming the second major city to be hit in the last week, following a destructive twister in Jefferson City, Missouri.
I'm Kerry Sanders in Tulsa. This is what so many roads in Oklahoma look like flooded. The Arkansas River continues to rise and is expected to reach historic levels in the next 24 hours.
This morning in Tulsa, a race against time and rapidly rising waters. Some neighborhoods underwater, some evacuees seeking refuge in Red Cross shelters.
I was scared. I was crying, thinking I was going to drown.
The Army Corps of Engineers trying to relieve pressure on the overflowing Keystone Dam by releasing water. The Oklahoma National Guard busy sandbagging levees built during World War II.
As these floodwaters rise, emergency officials calculate at least 170 homes have been damaged like this one. And homeowners are only now discovering that if they didn't have federal flood insurance, they're not covered.
Some residents leaving town, this man staying behind, armed in an attempt to ward off looters.
Don't come down here stealing. I ain't got much, but what I got I intend to keep.
Sandbags also surrounding the nearby Oklahoma Aquarium. The greatest worry, a loss of power here could kill the largest collection of bull sharks in the world.
In the forecast of the coming days, more rain and the potential for more tornadoes. Kerry Sanders, NBC News, Tulsa County, Oklahoma.
And we are following even more breaking news, this time out of Washington, as the Supreme Court upholds an Indiana abortion law. The law requires fetal remains to be buried or cremated. This law is part of a broader measure that would prevent women from having an abortion based on gender, race, or disability. The Supreme Court left that measure to the lower courts. President Trump heading back home after wrapping up a 4-day trip to Japan. During that trip, the president disagreed with his host, Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, and his own national security advisor by saying he wasn't, quote, personally bothered by North Korea's recent short-range missile tests. Still to come here at noon, another American has died in his quest to reach the top of the world. How his death and others are now raising even more questions about the safety of Mount Everest. But first, tragedy in Japan as a group of schoolgirls are attacked. What a man said before he went on a deadly rampage.
Okay, so do you feel stressed and exhausted because of your workload? Here's the good news. You have burnout. Here's the better news. Now there is an official medical designation that says burnout is actually a legitimate disease. Who says this? No, that's who. The World Health Organization. Who? They now say burnout is legitimate. So what does this mean to you? And what does this mean to your employer? We're going to take a look at it today at 4 on First at 4.